there's a second part to what your topic was. You were talking about overhyped teams, and then there was also the underperforming teams.
Yeah, like I'm talking like underperforming, as in you're the Steelers complaining about like you have all these problems and now you're 0-3. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, Ben got hurt last week, but still,
Well,
there's a problem.
to mention the Steelers, I mean, they got everything they wanted, right? So they got rid of Antonio, the cancer, and they got rid of Le'Veon with his contract situation, right? They got
Yep,
everything they wanted. They kept Juju, they kept James Conner.
yep. But
And what did
now,
they have to show for it?
I mean, the way like
Not much.
the first game, there's nothing, there's no excuse, zero.
The first game they should have, yeah, they were gonna lose that game probably.
Well, they should have played better, but they didn't. So they always play. The Steelers are infamous for playing down to their opponent's level.
Oh, for sure. They should
So
have played better against the Patriots, but they were always gonna lose that game. They just didn't have
probably,
the
yeah.
talent that New England did, and they were playing at Foxborough where they were just horrible at.
Yeah, no, they're just period not good. They lost to the 49ers last week.
That they should have won. They should
I,
have won that
I mean, the
game.
Niners aren't actually terrible this year,
Probably.
surprisingly.
I
Well, the
mean,
reason they should have won is because they were trading blows with the Niners, and the Niners defense was
They
letting
like
up
I
so
think they
much.
said they only scored 6 points off of 5 turnovers.
Yeah, they
That's a
had
problem.
and they had they picked off what's it, Jimmy G. They picked him off
Yeah.
3 times, and he fumbled twice, or reverse that.
Well,
One of the two.
was that Minka Fitzpatrick trade before last game or no?
No, Minka was definitely there. He's been there, I believe.
no,
At
he's just
least,
been there 1 week.
yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
he's been there 1 week. So
Wait, so
Minka
but was he there
in
for the
1 week.
game or no?
Yeah, he was there for a game because he already has 2 turnovers. He had caught he picked off a person and got a fumble recovery as well.
See at that point it's not even the defense's fault. At that point it's
No.
the offense. If my
It's
defense
definitely
gives
the offense.
5 turnovers, there's a problem. If I'm
Oh yeah,
forcing
no, it's
5 turnovers,
definitely the offense. I have no idea
but
why
then
the
again,
Steelers' offense is so
well,
like
but no, like I said, Ben's hurt
toned
because
down
Ben
right
got
now.
hurt. Ben got hurt against. They should have won this game. They should have won the game against the Seahawks, which was week 2.
Oh, for sure.
They lost by 2.
Yeah,
That was by
that
2 points.
close.
But that was the Steelers game. That was the game where Ben got hurt, and so everybody's just like, "Well, there goes the season."
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though. I think
Put Vic
even
back
when
in.
Ben was not hurt,
I don't think he's there, is he?
Ah,
wait,
so
who?
great, Michael Vick.
Oh my god, I don't think Michael Vick's in the league anymore. I could be wrong.
Nah,
Why
he's not. I
not?
think he's an analyst over at FS1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
I know. Oh, that's the thing though. The Steelers, like you mentioned, because Ben got hurt, the offense became the offense looked terrible even when Ben was
Yeah, I
there.
know.
That first game, they looked awful.
They're just like they're not.
Now
good.
that could just be because they're
Not
playing
good.
the Patriots at the Patriots house, but even the second game, right? In the first, I don't know how long he survived, but when he was in that game before he got injured, they looked terrible still. I didn't understand, and they were supposed to be like,
Like
I
I
mean,
think,
not a top offense, but they have talent.
yeah, they've got talent. They're definitely not a top offense, but I
They
think
got the
it's
Juju
their.
Smith-Schuster and James Conner, who is supposed to be the replacement to Le'Veon.
Well, yeah, but if you can't get a passing attack going, they're just gonna stack 8 men in the
Exactly.
box. Like
exactly.
It's pretty. It's hard. That's the thing about the NFL. You gotta have both. I mean,
Yeah,
granted, the
and
passing
their
game is starting to
O-line right
become
now.
more. Yeah, pretty
Well, your
bad.
O line right now is rough. I don't know what changed in the offseason. I don't know if you guys lost somebody. I didn't keep up with the Steelers O line transactions, but that O line is struggling.
It's the problem is that Mason Rudolph, yeah, is supposed to be the next guy, but he's still a year or 2 out
Yeah,
before he's supposed to be like
pursuit.
he's a growth program really. He's got to grow a little more. He's not there yet, but they're gonna have like I think he started last game, but they're gonna have to keep starting him. He's gonna have trial by fire, and I kind of feel bad for the kid. But the good news
Some
is
of the best quarterbacks have had to come in and step up when they're injured. I mean, look, Tom Brady came in, stepped up when his quarterback got injured. I mean, some of the best of all time have come in when their quarterback got injured and their team has not been good. And they came in and they stepped up and they proved that they had a talent if their team can get better.
yeah, but I mean, it's I need to actually check. I'm gonna see who they have.
Whether or not
starting.
that proves to be Mason Rudolph, we have yet to find out. But
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he has had some. He's shown potential. I mean, I've watched 2 of his. I watched the second half that he played when he played against the second game. I think against Seattle, he looked decent. I wouldn't say he looked great, but he looked decent. I think he threw a pick, but he also threw a touchdown and had like 90% completion because he only threw like 5 balls. But then the second game the first game officially he played, I believe who did he play? The 49ers, like I mentioned, he didn't look bad. I mean, he messed up a couple times, but as any rookie will do, but he didn't look bad at all.
Yeah. So it's they're questioning whether to start Delvin Hodges or Mason Rudolph, and honestly, you draft Rudolph.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Who is Delvin Hodges?
he's
That's their
like,
third string.
yeah, but the thing is,
I mean, I wouldn't start the third string unless you think your rookie has a chance to get injured.
it's just period needs to go to no, it just needs to go to Mason.
Well, okay, you're the Steelers fan. What would you have your team do?
You gotta look. They're in a rough spot. Everybody's gonna blame Tomlin. Granted, Tomlin is last year when everything was going on was a piece of the issue, but he wasn't the issue. He's literally the best players coach. Like everybody says it. Like if you had to play for a coach, who you playing for? They're like Tomlin.
A lot of people say they love playing for him.
Yeah, but it's the thing is, he needs to be able to take control of the team and demand things from them, and they need to be able to perform.
He's like the opposite Belichick.
Yeah, Belichick just demands everything, and if you don't do it,
He's
you
like
get
the
out.
reverse Belichick, pretty much. Like he's so friendly to the players that they basically think they can run.
Yeah, they can do their own thing, and that's half the problem. But the thing is, I don't know what their development process has been for Rudolph, but when he was drafted, like everybody's like, yeah, he's going to be the next guy. He's basically a replica of Ben. He's a big dude who's kind of like he's not like fat, but he's big.
But he can run though. That's the difference.
He's more
between
mobile.
him and Ben.
Ben's
He's
just
definitely more mobile.
been
I've seen him
forever.
run for first downs multiple times already.
Ben is just a walking injury machine. Basically, like every time something's wrong with his leg or his ankle or his knee.
It's a big glass cannon.
Dude, but that is a cannon nonetheless.
Yeah, he does have a bit. I mean, he's got one of the biggest arms in football. There's no doubt.
This week, I think. See, if I was the Steelers, if whoever I want to be the starter from now on, I'd let the other guy. So whoever it would be. So for last week, it'd have been Delvin Hodges because I would want Mason Rudolph to start. I would bring Rudolph in against Cincinnati because I know Cincinnati's not the strongest team.
Yeah.
But I want to bring him in on a game, not necessarily that quote unquote matters the most, but a game that's like in our division.
Right.
Because I'm gonna look at him and tell him like, you're gonna see these people consistently if you play here. This is the week to show me what you got. Just do your. I tell him go out there and give me your best. And it's like if I don't see it, your ass is coming off the bench the rest of the season. It's gonna be on the bench the rest of the year.
So you think that they should play the opposite of whoever they want their starter to be in the future?
No. I'm saying I was saying for the past 2 weeks, games that haven't necessarily mattered.
Yeah.
Like that are out of division.
Right.
They should have started. So me personally, I would want Mason Rudolph to start. Those last few weeks, I'd have played Delvin Hodges.
Okay.
Which I mean, I don't know
You
exactly.
want him to play.
I want Rudolph to start. Period.
You want Rudolph to start.
Yeah, from here on, I want Rudolph to start.
Games. You think he shouldn't have played the past two? He should have only played important games.
No, not even just important. No, I'm saying give the other kids some time to see if I'm not saying Rudolph should be starting only the important games.
Okay.
I'm saying if my process in a few years is to know Mason Rudolph is gonna start.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing him to the wolves immediately. I still want him time to develop.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of like what the Redskins are doing with Haskins.
Dude, that's a whole other ballgame.
No. I'm saying in the sense of why are they not starting him? Because they're trying to give him time to grow, right? They don't want him to throw him to the wolves.
You gotta understand, the Steelers are at least a functional organization.
Okay. I understand that. I'm saying their quarterback situation,
They have
in
a
that
head
sense,
coach
can
that has
be
confidence.
similar. Because
Yes, I can
the
understand
reason the
what you're
Redskins aren't starting Haskins is because they want him to grow. They're putting
There's
in these
a
other
lot
guys.
of reasons the Redskins aren't starting.
Well, also he might
That
die
is
if they
one of
throw him
them.
in legitimately.
He might die if they put him in the game. Yes, that. I was gonna bring that up after this, but yes, that's very similar.
No, so I'm saying Delvin Hodges should have started the past few games to see if he can do anything, and if he keeps it up, he can keep it up. I'm not gonna throw Rudolph in if I know Rudolph needs another year to develop.
Yeah.
And I could throw him in, but there's a risk of injury, and he won't be able to. You can't learn if you're injured.
Of course.
You can't be getting in the practice. You can't be getting in the reps. So I'm
Right.
saying Hodges should have played the past few games. Like he didn't get hurt, doesn't matter at this point. So Hodges is now out of it. If he
Yeah.
didn't play well, which he didn't, like if he even I don't even know if he got a snap. Like I've been so busy. Like did
I've
Hodges?
watched all the Steelers games. He hasn't played yet.
Yeah. So like they're like okay, maybe not the best choice to put him in.
Yeah.
So Kyle
I think
Rudolph
Mike
or not
Tomlin
Kyle
thought
Mason
he
Rudolph.
could win. I thought Mike Tomlin thought for sure he could win those last two games. That's why he put the best option in.
Yeah, no, and which I get. That's
And he
understandable.
almost did, but
But like
he
I said,
wanted to
he's
keep the
still
game
he's a
close.
project. He's not like
Yeah, he is
he's not a
project.
perfect
Well,
starter.
okay, as a Steelers fan and coming just from a Steelers fan, ignoring just being yourself and not trying to be neutral or anything like that. Do you see Mason Rudolph as the future of your franchise?
Yes.
Okay, so you like him enough to think he is talented enough to do it.
I think he can do it because the way I see it is the Steelers have always played off of Big Ben, right? Big
Yeah.
Ben he's a bigger guy, can kind of move out of the pocket if need be. And when he gets to extending plays, it's kind of scary
Yeah.
because that's when he performs.
Right.
That's the way Kyle Rudolph, or not, I keep saying Kyle. Think of like the old Vikings tight end. No,
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph it's the way he plays. He did it at Oklahoma State. He could do it
You
now.
like the way he plays, and it's very similar to how Ben plays.
Yeah, and I think why change so if you're quarter like the Cardinals haven't changed their whole system because Kyler Murray came in and a new coach came in, right?
Exactly. Yep.
The Steelers have a system, draft a guy that fits the system, and just develop him.
Do you
But-
think Tomlin should? Do you think they need to find a new coach, or do you think Tomlin
No.
needs to stay to
The
develop?
Rudolph. I think the owner needs to go talk to him and tell him like, you need to get a hold of this team and tighten up here because we're losing games we shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like the way the Steelers work is even if they have like losing records, they don't like. I think they've had 3 coaches over the past 50 years.
Exactly. You don't train. You don't change your coaches much.
Like they just like they found a system that works. Keep it going. Don't be changing a. Because the thing is, when you change a coach, system change, everything changes, and everything you drafted to that point is now worthless. Especially if the system changes.
No, I can understand that. So you, in your opinion, you like the direction it's going. You just wish they had done it a little different.
I like getting rid. It's addition. It's what is it? It's addition from subtraction.
Right.
Getting rid of the 2, like as people say, tumors of the system. Like you get rid of them, you're in better shape, but there's going to be growing pain after that.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to be perfect this year, but I didn't expect them to be 0-3.
0-3 is kind of a little unexpected. I mean, I
That's-
knew they were going to lose to the Patriots just because the Patriots
I
are so
did not,
established.
yeah, I did not
and
expect them to beat the
they just
Patriots.
were
I was like,
not gonna
okay,
come
but the
out on
Seahawks,
fire. That game should have been
should
won.
have, yeah, they should have won that one. And the Niners
Yeah.
at home, the Steelers
That
were
was
at home, they
sad
lost. That was
lost,
disappointing.
especially with 5 turnovers. That was rough.
Yeah, it's look
But,
like everybody's complaining that their defense wasn't going to be good. We saw it last week.
Well, the worst
Their
thing about
defense is pretty good.
their team is right now is their run differential is they are literally
Yeah,
negative
James Conner's
36
only
points.
averaging like 2.9 yards a carry.
Yeah, they can't run the ball right now, and they're getting out. They're getting their offense because they can't run the ball is getting outscored by almost every team they play, even
Yep.
teams with not great offenses because they have no ability to open up the pass game.
Yep.
And that's something that I'm not sure if they'll be able to fix this year, but it's something that they can at least say, okay, look, we can write off this year as a learning year and focus on rebuilding the offense back to what it has been when we had all this star talent.
I'd say wait before you even tell this. Like the Steelers need to wait before they even think about like saying, okay, this is just a learning year. They're 0-3. You can start 0-3. You just got to win your next one. At this point, they got to take it one game at a time. They got to worry about winning that one week. They can't just say, okay, we need to win the next 6. Like no, just win the first game, then we'll worry about the next week. Because right now, if they lose to the Bengals, that's pretty much
that would be a low point for
That's
the
pretty much it.
Steelers. That would be a real low point.
That would be a rough one right there.
Oh, I can't
Lost
even
to the
imagine how mad
Bengals.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine how mad the Steelers fan base will be just knowing how bad the Bengals are and how many years in a row they've beaten them just to lose to them. That would just
Yeah.
there's going to be a bad reaction.
Yeah, I mean, basically. Well, I mean, there's that.
I gotta say, there's one other team I think that is severely underperforming for where their talent is and where they should be.
Who?
besides the Bears, who have gotten extremely lucky. But the other team is the Chargers.
Yeah, 100%.
They look their defense, which they have apparently spent the last 3 years trying to make better, looks terrible, or at least their corners do. And
Mhm.
their offense, which I gotta be honest, they have so much talent on offense.
And they're just kind
It's
of
like they're just rolling along. Like they're not pushed. They're not doing anything spectacular for their talent level. They're on offense. They're underperforming like hell. And their first game they won barely against the Colts in overtime at home.
yep.
Their second game they lose. They scored 10 points against the Lions.
Yeah, I don't know how they
The
lost that game.
Lions. They didn't even. I mean, Rivers has not. He hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't been great. Rivers. He hasn't been what he could be. And then their second loss was against the Texans at home, where they lost by a touchdown.
Yeah,
Now,
but
that
the
game is
Texans are
kind
not
of
bad.
but here's the thing about that game: they had Keenan Allen go off for over 180 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they still lose that game.
Yeah,
That is a bad defense.
that's true.
And it's shocking because they've spent like they've told their whole thing is we're rebuilding our defense, we're making it better, and they
They just
every
can't do
year
it.
it seems like they can't get their D line is good. They have Joey Bosa, or is it Nick Bosa?
They have one
I
of the
think
Bosa
it might be
brothers.
Nick. They have one of the Bosas, which is really good. They have a good D line, and they have other players as well. Their corners and their free safeties are terrible, and they're getting smoked on almost every deep ball. And it's very interesting because I think they're vastly underperforming. And their division, only the Chiefs are good. The Broncos suck. The Raiders suck.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, no offense to the Raiders or Broncos, but
Well, I
their
mean,
team's really
the
way
Raiders,
better now.
they're the
The
bottom
Raiders
of the
look
two.
better, I guess. And then
The Raiders and Broncos are the bottom two in that division, no question.
Well, yeah, I mean, in terms of talent, for sure. The
I
Raiders
mean, like
are
their record or not, it's gonna be bad.
well, yeah, I mean, they probably end up at the bottom, but they're tied they're tied for second in that division, the Raiders and the Chargers. But I just think that out of all teams with the talent the Chargers have, especially given that the Raiders don't, to have the same record as the Raiders is really bad.
Okay. Well, I want to
And
ask Cole a
that's
question here because how did the Packers? Okay, so we're recording this on Saturday, it's Thursday. How did the Packers lose, and what do they need
I
to
would love
fix?
to know the answer.
You want to know why the Packers lost?
Oh, boy.
I
It
want
was
to.
essentially a perfect storm of everything that could have gone wrong in the fourth quarter went wrong in the fourth quarter. First of all,
Aaron Rodgers was the genius fourth quarter man.
all right, Aaron Rodgers did literally nothing wrong that entire game. He didn't make any mistakes whatsoever. He played. He threw for 422 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I'd
Can't-
call
You
that a
don't
pretty
lose
good
games
game.
where you don't lose those games. All right, we lost that game because our run defense it doesn't exist. We don't have a run defense apparently.
I thought
We
your
don't have one.
defense was vastly
Our
better.
defense has gotten a lot better. We still have a very good pass defense. I believe in our pass defense very much, but we
Yes,
just
it
don't have a
is
run
good.
defense
I
right
also
now.
want to say it said the top rusher for Green Bay was Aaron Rodgers at 46 yards.
Yes,
Oh,
we
yeah,
also
they can't
can't
throw the ball.
run the ball very well at all.
But the thing about that is though, about that, Austin, they haven't been able to run the ball for like 5 years now. So that they've gone
I'm
through a
still
running
saying
back
that
by
seems like an
committee for,
issue.
5 years.
Maybe.
I
It
mean,
is.
it makes your offense one dimensional, which makes it very predictable. Now, luckily, Aaron Rodgers the last 5 years has basically been so insanely talented that he's carried that team through offensive struggles. But now that their defense is better, at least in the pass game, I'm very surprised at how bad their run game
But
is.
how did Carson Wentz also only throw for 160?
Because they didn't need him to throw for any more yards because they just
don't-
kept running the ball.
Look how many rushing yards they have between LaShawn McCoy and
They had like 157 rushing
Wait,
yards.
did I say
this
LaShawn
team.
McCoy? Who's the rookie? Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard. I mean, Jordan Howard had 3 rushing touchdowns.
He
He
had
hadn't
two,
scored before that.
but he
Oh,
had,
2
he
rushing
had
touchdowns.
87 yards.
He had 87 yards, and Miles Sanders, I think he only had like 40 something rushing yards, but he had a return kick for like 60 yards. I mean, they couldn't stop the run at all. And this is an Eagles team that lost to the Lions
Yes, I'm aware of
and
this.
almost lost to the Redskins.
But let me just say this, okay? There were also 2 uncalled pass interferences
That is
against the Packers that the refs were just like, I mean, yeah, he grabbed his face mask, but I don't want to call it. Why
It's
would I
like-
do that? And then on the last play of the game,
Okay,
our receiver
slow down,
literally gets
slow down.
hugged. He hugged our receiver before he even touched the ball, and there was just no call, which is what led to the interception, which lost us the game. We did not get blown out of that game. We lost by a touchdown. And if we had just run the ball on one of the 2 goal line drives we had, where we had like 2 yards to go, run the ball once. Because yes, our run game was struggling, but we can get a yard. Okay? I don't know why Matt LaFleur just refused to call a run play. He ran
know
4
what he
straight
did?
pass plays on the
You know
1
what?
yard line.
The Packers did the Seahawks, just not in the Super Bowl.
Yes, I'm aware of this.
Twice, though. They did it twice. They had 2 chances to remedy it, and they did it both times.
They didn't
But
do
the
it
other
once.
thing was that in the goal line, they had just done a run. They did a run play. The line get round. The play before that, they did a run play to get a first down for 5 yards. They ran 5 yards in the red zone, and then they just decided to throw it 4 times in a row. Like all they needed was 5 more yards. They had already gotten 5 yards the previous play. I was confused.
I don't know.
Welcome
But
to
the refs also screwed us on the last play of the game.
The refs.
I mean, yes, there were some.
And Jimmy
very
Graham can't catch.
questionable- And Jimmy Graham dropped a touchdown pass, which is very unfortunate for them.
All right.
But there were some very
That's why
questionable
the Packers lost.
non-calls in that game. But I mean, to be fair,
It
goes
happens.
both ways. You can say that the Packers lost it themselves. You can also blame it on the refs. But every Packers fan.
I'm
does.
blaming it on everyone.
it's like,
You
it's
know,
like
I'm-
that game just was not ours, and it was destined for us not to win.
The Packers have a big problem though on one way. Their second half team, their second quarter and second half team is very bad. They drop off tremendously for some reason. Their first quarter team might be the best in football, but their second half team is bad.
Weren't they
Yes,
up
it
by
is.
like 21?
We were up 10-0.
There was a game that they were up 21-0 on a previous game in the last
Minnesota.
and they almost lost that game
That's
in the
just,
second half.
That's disappointing.
They didn't score another point the rest of the game, I
Right.
don't believe.
So, I mean, we
Really?
only have like 3 minutes left because, like we said,
Right.
we're going to keep this a short episode. I'm going to go down the list here. I'm looking at the games. I want you to pick who is going to win this week for each
Ooh,
game.
Fun.
All
Okay.
right, so first, Tennessee, Atlanta.
Hard game. Both teams underperforming. Atlanta specifically, but I got Tennessee in a very, very close game.
Atlanta's got to win something at some point, so I'll give it to
I
Atlanta.
mean, their offense is doing way better than their defense is.
I don't know what
I'm
Matt
not
saying
Ryan's
their
doing.
defense
Tennessee's
is doing
not that
way better
good.
than their offense.
Pretty sure
Matt Ryan
Tennessee
actually
lost to
has-
Tampa Bay.
Matt
Matt Ryan
actually
is
throwing a
leading
lot of
the
touchdowns,
he's leading the league in interceptions too.
but he's also throwing the second most touchdowns, which is very interesting. But he's screwing up a lot.
That's
He's
pretty
like
bad.
kind of like Eli Manning. He's throwing a lot of interceptions, but he's also throwing a lot of touchdowns.
All right, well, I'm going to pick Atlanta too. All right, Cleveland, Baltimore.
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 A closer game than people are giving it though.
Really? I think
Because
Baltimore's going
but
to blow
I
them
think
out.
unless Baker just decides to do what he did last week, then it's a blowout.
I think Lamar can carry this team.
It's
farther.
in Baltimore, so Lamar's gonna have a lot more incentive to crush Baker.
Oh yeah. All right, New England, Buffalo. This should be pretty easy.
New England.
I want to pick the Bills because I want to see it happen. But
Look, the Patriots lose to one
There's just
team
no way.
and one team alone.
every year they lose a game they shouldn't lose.
Yeah, and it's
Last
against
year was the
Miami,
Dolphins.
so I'm picking Dolphins when they play the Patriots.
They already beat the Dolphins.
They already
though.
beat the Dolphins.
Well, they got to play them again.
I think they
True.
shut out the Dolphins too.
Yeah,
They did. They blew them out. It was bad.
Yeah. I want to pick the Bills because their defense is good, and this is the hardest defense New England will have to face. But their offense does not look good enough to beat the Patriots at all.
All right,
So,
well, I'm
and
going
and,
with New England,
and I
too.
think is it in Buffalo?
Does it matter? No.
It matters a
I
little
think
bit.
it is.
Bills
I don't
Mafia.
care.
It is at Buffalo.
I give them a little bit more chance, but the Patriots still win it.
Listen,
Alright.
if they throw another dildo on the field, then maybe they can win.
That was the best thing.
All right, Kansas City versus Detroit.
Ah,
I'm picking.
everyone's
I'm picking
picking the
Kansas City.
Chiefs on this.
I mean, I gotta pick the
I'm
Chiefs.
gonna be a dumbass to not pick the Chiefs, so I'll pick the Chiefs. But the Lions have a real shot at winning that game if their defense shows up.
Chiefs.
All right, Carolina, Houston.
Damn.
Houston.
I think Houston wins too. I think Deshaun Watson's still got it.
Where is it?
I think it is in Houston.
Is it in
Cam
Houston?
Newton healthy?
No,
No,
Cam
he's
Newton's
not
not healthy.
playing.
He's going to be out for a few weeks, actually.
Or then Houston?
Which one? Yeah, it is in Houston.
It's in Houston.
Yeah.
Texans fans be wild, man. I'm picking Texans.
All right. Oklahoma. Oh, Oakland. I almost said Oklahoma. Oakland and Indy. It's at Indy.
Indy. Jacoby Brissett's underrated.
Colts should win that game, but watch John Gruden pull something out of his ass.
I don't think Derek Carr is their quarterback. I can't give it.
I think he is because he's actually looking a lot better this year. But his problem is that he has no tools. Again.
That's fair.
He has Tyrell Williams, and that's it.
That is fair.
But I got Indy because Jacoby Brissett looks really good right now.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Jacoby Brissett could be a starter, I think.
Should be
Dang.
a starter in almost on a couple.
All right,
times.
the Chargers are at Miami.
Chargers.
If the Chargers lose this game, they should forfeit their season, and Melvin Gordon should be released.
Yep.
They should just give Melvin Gordon the trade.
They should just shut down as a
If Melvin
franchise.
comes back,
Move back to San
and they
Diego and kill
lose-
themselves.
Even
wow.
even if Melvin doesn't play in that game, if they lose, Melvin should be granted whatever he wants.
yeah, at that point, I agree with that. That would be
Because
bad.
there is no point in finishing your season starting 1-3 and losing against the worst team in the NFL.
All right, Washington,
Who's
New York.
trying to lose games?
Literally. Sorry, go ahead.
Washington and New York, and realize that I'm not talking about the Jets. I'm talking about the Giants. I am going to pick
This one hurts me,
Washington.
man. Because as a
I could
fan,
see Washington winning this game.
I'm picking Washington because
Yeah, I'm going
as
with
a-
Washington.
As a fan, I want us to lose because I don't want to win anymore. I want us to tank.
You've never wanted to win. The Redskins
I
fans
want
hate
to
their
win.
teams.
No, I want-
Washington sports fans hate their teams.
I
Except
want
the
us to
hate
lose
them.
because I don't want. I want a high draft pick.
oh, I mean,
But I
look, you
really
can
but
you
here's
can
the
win
thing,
this game and still
I
throw the
actually think
season.
Here's the thing. I actually think the Giants win this because if Daniel Jones does what he did in the last game in the fourth quarter, or his last, if he does what he did in the fourth quarter last week, they will blow out the Redskins. But here's the thing: the Redskins can't stop the pass; they can only stop the run. And
Well, the funny part is Saquon's hurt. That's why I'm not picking the Giants.
that's the thing. The Giants' big strength was supposed to be the run this year because of Saquon, but their passing game looked the best thing like it had, and they have Evan Ingram, which they can't. The Redskins can't stop tight ends to save their life,
Yeah, he is killing it.
and he's having an incredible season right now. I'm gonna give it to the Giants because even though as a Redskins fan, I would pick the Redskins because theoretically we have more talent than they do. But I think the Giants feel rejuvenated, and it's at the Giants anyway, so why not?
Yeah. All right.
I don't know why, but Redskins.
I'm picking the only reason I say this is because I'm picking the
There's
Redskins
really-
because it's the other Gruden man or something, right?
Jay Gruden.
Yeah,
Well,
Jay-
Jay Gruden's gonna get fired if he loses this game.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
fact.
why I say
There's
I
two
say
sources
they
that
gotta
said
win.
he gets fired if he loses. So he's gonna feel like he has to
Well,
win this
I
game.
think they're saying that because who is he playing at quarterback? Because he's not playing Haskins and everybody's complaining.
Keenum's starting.
Yeah, everybody's like complaining. They're like, "Well, we suck. Why are we not playing Haskins?"
That's not gonna make much of a difference. I
It-
mean, their
it'll
offense
make
might be
more of a
slightly
difference.
better,
It'll
but
make
it might
more
be
of a difference
slightly
than you
better,
think.
but it's not gonna make a huge difference. Our defense is atrocious.
Keenum
It's
is
the
not good.
second worst defense in the NFL.
Okay, that's fair. All right, like I said,
And by the way, Josh Norman is an overpaid idiot
okay, that's
who
true.
can't guard anyone.
Well, that's just what happens when you sign any free agents to the
Yeah,
Redskins.
that's the
Just
Redskins
suck.
curse at that point.
No, he's been terrible. Look
You
at
could
what
go
Ha Ha did
anywhere and
last
he would be
year.
amazing again, I
Look at
guarantee
how
you.
Ha Clinton Dix did last year for us.
Exactly.
Absolutely
Your
nothing.
team is poison to free agents.
I know. We can't pick anyone. Clinton
All
Dix
right.
was one of the best corners, and we made him trash. Now he's
Okay.
great.
Safety.
Okay.
Safety.
All right, look, Seattle, Arizona.
Seattle.
I'm picking Seattle.
Where is it?
I believe it is in Arizona. Yeah, it is. It's in Arizona.
Seattle looked really bad last week.
At 4:05.
I know
Russell,
Russell
Wilson looked
I
really
know
good.
Russell put up 70, but their defense looked 70 fantasy points. I know Russell Wilson came back and made a great comeback, but the Saints defense held them at Seahawks at Washington,
Mhm.
where the Seahawks have one of the loudest stadiums in the league. With Teddy Bridgewater coming in, the Saints put up like 27 on them or something, or maybe it was 30 or something on the Seahawks defense. It does not look good.
Well,
I'm not saying the Cardinals have anything, but
all the Seahawks got to do is just run at like everyone,
Yeah.
and they're good. Like they just
I'm just saying
Run after the quarterback. That's it.
I'm just saying watch the upset. And you know what? I'm gonna pick the Seahawks, but watch for that upset.
Dude,
That is
you have no conviction. You have nothing. You always pick the team.
I have no. I'm picking the Seahawks. I just think the Cardinals have a very big chance to upset because I mean the Seahawks looked
Just do it.
awful.
Just pick the Cardinals. Just do it.
I want to pick them,
Then
but I
do
just
it.
don't think they don't have enough talent
Do
to
it.
beat the Seahawks.
Do it, pussy.
Fine. I pick the Cardinals. I pick the Cardinals in a massive upset. Kyler Murray throws 5 TDs and runs 2 in himself.
Wow.
Oh,
That,
that's a
if
seven
that
touchdown.
happened,
Of the year.
Jesus Christ.
if this is
Rookie game of the year,
Dude,
best performance in his life.
All right, right now I'm going to.
It's not that important of a game for him to do that.
No,
No,
I'm
it's not. And
if
It's not like you're playing the Patriots or something. The Seahawks.
I
telling
just
you.
think that could be, especially if they're playing in Arizona, that could be a big upset for them.
I'm telling you right now, if this actually happens, I'm clipping this and saying we have a psychic on our channel.
I'm telling you, it's a massive upset waiting
Alright,
to happen.
moving
They're
on,
gonna
though.
underperform.
We're gonna try and get through this. We got like 5 more games. Tampa Bay versus LA.
LA. Tampa
LA.
Bay looks terrible right
Yeah,
now.
Tampa
They
Bay.
lost to the Giants
here-
at home.
Here is like one of the biggest ones. Both of them
James
2-1.
Winston looks terrible this year.
Minnesota at Chicago.
Oh.
Chicago has no offense, but they have the
But they
best
have
defense in the
literally the
league.
best defense
Minnesota has average at best
on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. If Adam Thielen can get one of those games where he just pops off, I got Minnesota in this.
I'm picking
because
the Bears.
Chicago can't score
I'm
enough.
picking the Bears. I think they have a breakthrough.
Has Minnesota done anything this year? I haven't really kept track of their games, to be honest.
I mean, they're 2-1. They've been.
I know,
doing
but have
pretty
they
good.
scored a lot? Because I haven't
think so.
noticed. You know what? I'll pick Minnesota because it's at Minnesota, right? It's not at Chicago.
Minnesota scored 34 on the Raiders, but that was the Raiders.
Khalil Mack's a beast of a man. That
I
dude
mean,
is insane.
yes.
And they have a very good. They have Eddie Jackson, who's insane. Their safeties their corners are really good. Their defense is the best in the league. Vikings offense is not that great, but it's not bad. Dalvin Cook's playing amazing though.
I'm
Who's at
still
home?
picking.
I think it's Minnesota.
Minnesota is at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Dalvin-
Chicago's at home. I lied.
Oh, it's Chicago. Oh, they got no chance then. Never mind.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Chicago
Hey
wins.
Siri, flip a coin. All right, Vikings are gonna win. It's tails. Vikings are winning.
That's literally. Yeah, to be fair, he's right. It's a coin flip. If the Bears' offense doesn't show up, they probably lose.
I think if the Bears offense is half decent, they don't even have to play well. They win this game.
Can they
I don't
both
think,
lose? Because how great would that be for Green Bay?
I mean, look what the Redskins did when the
Can
Bears
they
stopped
tie?
caring. Can they tie?
I'll take a tie.
I think you
just
would.
look what the Bears did at the Redskins. They destroyed them on defense. They didn't let the Redskins score a point for the first half. They scored 3 points at the end. Whatever.
Still, they did pretty good.
But when the Bears let up, when they stopped carrying on defense, their offense did nothing, and the Redskins came back. They almost made it competitive.
All right,
And I think if the Vikings, who are better on defense and offense than the Redskins, I think they could definitely make that competitive.
okay,
But it's at Chicago.
the next game is the game nobody cares about because it's Jacksonville versus Denver.
Jacksonville in an upset.
Jacksonville.
Hey
Wait, is
Siri,
that an
flip
upset?
a coin.
No, Denver would be the upset, wouldn't it? Because they're
Yeah.
Jacksonville because they have actual
Wow.
quarterback and Joe
She
Flacco.
actually flipped a coin for me. I didn't. I meant that as a joke again, but all right. Well, it looks like I'm
Gardner
going with Denver
Minshew
then.
comes in and shows Joe Flacco what it means to be a real quarterback.
Yeah, I
If
get
DJ
Jacksonville.
Chark gets a touchdown, please,
Nah, who cares?
please.
Look, I'm going with Denver because I got
DeAndre
Emmanuel
Hopkins
Sanders
just-
on my team. So
You score like
Ah,
50.
Emmanuel Sanders is having a rough year, but he also has check down Flacco on his team. So, you know.
right, just get him running a slant. He'll be
I
fine.
think Gardner Minshew torches the Broncos though. Their secondary is beat up as hell right now.
See, now here's what
and
this
if
one
Jalen
is.
Ramsey plays, Flacco's screwed.
Yeah, right. Okay, this is actually a tough one. This might be like the hardest one to pick. Dallas and New Orleans.
Is it at? It's in New Orleans,
Yeah,
right?
it's
in
at
New
New
Orleans.
Yeah,
But
it's in New
still,
Orleans.
you have Dallas, who's been killing it on offense, and then New Orleans, who's missing Drew Brees.
Dallas defense does not look great.
I like Teddy Bridgewater, so I'm going to say the Saints.
Really?
Their
I think
offense looks.
I think Teddy Bridgewater's good.
Okay.
You know, Dallas looks like the reverse of what they were last year. Their defense looks not great, and their offense looks their offense looks really good, but their defense doesn't. Well, last year was kind of reverse.
I know who I'm picking, and I'm not changing my mind, but I'm gonna let you pick first.
I'm gonna pick the Cowboys, but the Saints make it close as hell.
I'm picking the Cowboys. The only reason I say that
but this is gonna be a close
is
one.
because the Cowboys are at full strength. If the Saints have Drew Brees, I'm 100% picking the Saints, but they don't. So that's kind of my mind made up for me. All right.
Teddy Bridgewater could have a game of his career though.
If he does beat the Cowboys, then I'm saying right now, anybody who said the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl is an idiot. Because if the Saints team can win without Drew Brees, and when Drew Brees comes, is he going to be able to come back, or is he gone for the season?
He's only gone for a couple of weeks. He'll be back by week 6 or 7.
Think about it. Drew Brees comes back, and they're like, "Yeah, we won with Teddy," and he's just like, "All right, we got this, boys."
Yeah, Alvin Kamara has to have a big game, and Michael Thomas has to actually get thrown to this game. Like they didn't utilize Michael Thomas at all.
How about Michael Thomas just does nothing, and we just don't.
Look, dude, you just don't want to lose in fantasy, all right?
That is very true. It's the only reason I care.
The Saints don't have a great defense, but it's better than it was last year.
So Cole's got the Saints, you've got the Cowboys, and so do I.
I think the Cowboys win barely. Like this comes down to like a field goal to win. I think it comes down to like a last-second field goal, literally, and it's on a drive where the Cowboys are like tied. The Saints just scored, so it's all sad, and the Saints cry. You know,
all right, and then for the game again. Nobody cares
idiot.
about what.
Oh my God. Alabama dropped a touchdown.
Oh, sitting here watching college football makes sense.
I've been watching college football this whole time.
I understand. All right, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, both of them 0-3. Who's getting their first win?
If Pittsburgh loses, it's gonna be riots in Pittsburgh, dude.
Pennsylvania people are crazy.
I want Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati.
No, I'm picking the Bengals because I want to see the pissed off Yenzer crowd, please. I want to see the pissed off Yenzer so bad. Come on, Red Rover. What's it? Red Rifle. That's it. Come on, Andy. Show me what you got.
Andy Dalton. Oh my gosh.
And
you know this
Joe
is in
Ross
Pittsburgh,
could just
right?
have a career game. That'd be amazing.
This is in Pittsburgh, just to let you know.
I know, which would make it so much better.
Cincinnati. Let's get it.
Which would make it so much sweeter if Cincinnati.
Look, I'm going to say this is going to be... I'm going to need Siri to flip me another
I don't
point,
think
dude.
they'll win, but there's no
I'm a Steelers
way.
fan, but I don't even know if I can pick the Steelers.
Look, the
They're
Bengals
so
offensively have been surprisingly good. Andy Dalton has not been terrible as he usually is. He hasn't thrown that many picks this year. I think he's thrown less than Matt Ryan, which is surprising.
But
and
Matty
the
Ice
Bengals
is just
defense
throwing the ball up.
Yeah, they're 0-3, but it's not like a bad 0-3. It's kind of like the Steelers. They're 0-3 barely.
I mean,
and they probably should have beat the 49ers.
It's a pretty bad 0-3 when they've only scored 20 points at most.
Really? But every game's been close though, I've thought.
No, they got blown out week 2.
Who they
41-17 against the Niners.
Against the Saints?
Niners.
Oh, the Niners. Oh, that's right. Well,
that was their only bad game though. The other two, it was like 20. It was 21.
Look, I'll pick the Steelers because they should win, and if they don't, it would be just horrendously
I'm picking the Steelers,
bad.
but I am not putting it past the Steelers to blow this game.
My God, I would love to see Cincinnati win this game. It would just bring me joy to my heart.
You're just mad I beat you last week.
I am. It would make you mad, which would make me happy. So, I really hope Andy Dalton
Again, thank you for that.
What?
Gosh,
our fantasy league is looking pretty good. I feel like I got a chance for a playoff spot.
I have to reevaluate my life right now.
You have to reevaluate your whole team.
Everything. But yeah, Andy Dalton should not be able to beat Mason Rudolph, which is really sad, but he shouldn't be able to. But at the same time, if the Steelers offense does nothing like it has the last
like it has been
3 games, pretty much, their defense is better than it has been. Andy Dalton's going to throw at least 2 picks, which is going to lose in the game. He'll throw a pick at the last minute to lose the game.
Oh, you're saying so like every Bengals game ever?
Pretty much. He'll throw a pick in the least optimum time possible to lose the game like he always does because the Steelers are going to get... Minka's going to pick it off for a pick 6 probably.
Dude, I would cry.
The more I think about this, the more I don't like picking the Bengals.
The more he looks at this, he's like,
you can literally
mind.
You can picture it happening. It's just what he does. He has a chance to win the game in the last second, and he throws a pick.
You guys were like both so happy, like, yeah,
my God.
the Bengals are going to win. Then Ryan brings up a point. Andy Dalton's just going to throw one at the worst time, and Cole's like, You
and
know
Minka's
what?
gonna catch
I
him
can
off
see
guard.
that happening.
Yeah, it is.
Really,
He's like, I
it's
see
gonna
that
It
happening.
happens every year, and it's gonna happen again.
It's
When it really
PTSD
shouldn't.
for every Bengals fan ever. Andy Dalton
Oh,
throwing a bad
you know, they
pick.
thought getting rid of Marvin Lewis would change something. That's a hilarious
He's
thought.
like Brett Favre, but without the talent.
Brett Favre He's like Brett Favre, except he makes the worst decisions every year, every game.
Oh my
For some
gosh.
reason. It's embarrassing to watch, but you know he has talent. You know, you know what, if they had AJ Green, they would win this game, probably.
I would not say that. They need a lot of things.
I mean, they need a defense that has not terrible plays, but you know that would
True.
help.
All right.
I think Andy Dalton's
Well,
doing.
I
all right.
think we got our picks in.
Yep.
So you guys, I'm making sure I got this right. You guys are going for the Bengals.
No, I'm going for the Steelers. I just would love to see.
Totally
the Bengals
just
win it.
changed your mind on that. One.
I never said the Bengals are gonna win. I just said it'd be hilarious. To see
Oh, okay.
I'll say the Bengals, but no part of me actually thinks the Bengals are going to win this game.
Can't wait till Andy Dalton throws that pick six to Minka in the last
Cole,
minute.
do you just want me to tab you down as a Steelers pick in secret?
Steelers in nature, but the Bengals. But, like, the Bengals win. He's like, I called it. I totally called
If
it.
there is a pick to end the game and the Steelers win, it is literally like every other game ever from the
That's
Bengals.
just gonna happen. I mean,
All
that's
right.
every single good game by the Bengals
Well,
is ruined by Dalton throwing a pick.
There you go. We got our picks in for the week.
There you go.